Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Tuesday, September the 17th, including a couple of signings and things to talk about, starting with the Dallas Stars and Esa Lindell. So Esa Lindell's entering the final year of his contract, which has a cap hit of $5.8 million. He and the Dallas Stars sit down and basically make sure he's going to finish out his career as a member of the Dallas Stars. He's 30 years of age, so it's a 5-year contract extension that he has signed. The cap hit $5.25 million. So his cap hit drops, which, considering he's an excellent defensive defenseman, that's saying something right there. The Dallas Stars getting this contract signed for, I think, below market value, and considering the salary cap is expected to go up again next summer to around like $92 million. Like, we could be talking about $100 million salary cap over the next, I'd say, 4 years. Lindell's contract's just going to get better and better, I think, as the years go by. But Lindell is going to spend the rest of his career very likely in Dallas. Peyton Krebs. Krebs not in a position to talk about the rest of his career necessarily, but the next couple of years are set. He signs a 2-year extension with the Buffalo Sabres, the cap hit being $1.45 million per season. So Krebs, a good player who had some struggles this past season offensively, will now be trying to put those struggles behind him and go out and show Buffalo what he can do this season. We'll see what ends up happening there. I like Krebs. I think Krebs is a good player. But again, the offense has to pick it up. His offense has to pick it up this season. The offense in Buffalo generally has to as well. So we'll see whether or not Krebs can hit that next level. First of 2 items on the board for the Philadelphia Flyers. This is actually a twofer down here. But Danny Briere asked about Ryan Johansson's contract, which we had heard wasn't bought out, but he believes it has already been bought out and terminated, like terminated, not bought out as in money's gone to Johansson, and saying that the next move is for Johansson and his camp. So he had been put on waivers with the idea that they would terminate the contract, and then we didn't hear anything. And Briere believes that contract has been terminated, as in past tense, it's already done. So we'll see what happens there. It's a 60-day window after that contract termination for Johansson to fight that. And the NHLPA has already said that they'll basically help him in his fight. So we'll see what ends up happening there. The Washington Capitals giving a bit of a present, I think, to their fans. So if you didn't get a black Screaming Eagle jersey when they did the second reverse retro, you might be in luck. And I'm saying might be because I would imagine they'll be selling it again. It doesn't make any sense not to. So they're going to wear the black Screaming Eagle this season 6 times. Alex Ovechkin's talked about wanting that logo back and that look back. And it seems like the Capitals are open to it. I do think that it is a superior look with that Screaming Eagle to the one that they use now. So we'll see whether or not they go back to it permanently at some point. But hey, 6 home dates for that jersey this season. That's great. And again, if you weren't able to get the reverse retro, and I'm talking about the second one, you may very well be able to buy that jersey this season. We shall see. I'm kind of surprised it's the black one and not the red one, because the red one sold out way faster than the black one. But yeah, they're going with the black one. The Florida Panthers. So this is an interesting story because it's not that long ago that the Florida Panthers were seen as a team that was in some trouble, and maybe they wouldn't last in Florida. So before Florida got good management, and then everybody wanted to complain about all the tax breaks you get in Florida. And I understand the complaints, but those tax breaks did not help anybody before Bill Zito took over. So you still have to know what to do with that money. But the arena lease that they have, and I remember making videos years ago talking about how Florida, they had lost a lot of money, and there was an arena lease that there might be an out if there was the potential that maybe Florida would consider a move. But guess what? The team has run really well. The building's full. And now they've extended that lease deal 5 years. It is now extended through 2033. So that's the difference that good management made in Florida. It is something that Arizona never really truly had. So I'm happy to see Florida sticking around at least till 2033. But I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say it's going to go longer than that. So yeah, the Florida Panthers, your defending Stanley Cup champions, and now the arena lease has been extended. It was going to expire in 2028. That's no longer a concern. Chris Weidman, the defenseman, has announced his retirement. He didn't play at all this past season. He ends up playing 291 NHL games, 20 goals, 58 assists, 78 points. He played for 4 teams with those 291 games. Ottawa, Edmonton, Florida, and Montreal. A lion's share of those games being in Ottawa. I believe Ottawa was where he played most of his games. But all the best to Wideman in retirement. We knew last season it was unlikely he would return, and so his retirement has basically confirmed what we kind of already knew. So coming back to the Philadelphia Flyers, and the fascinating situation with Kolosov. So they signed Kolosov to a contract. He has a National Hockey League contract. They want him to honor it. They want him to come over and play. He said no. And what's been confirmed now, again, by Danny Briere, is that he didn't want to start the season in the AHL. He felt like he wanted a guaranteed start in the National Hockey League. So this makes it difficult to trade the player, since you have to find a team that can A, guarantee him a spot in the NHL right away, and B, get him out of Russia. So I think one step is to have a team that says, you know what, he could be in our top two, but you also have to talk him into coming over and honoring his contract and playing. So it doesn't sound like the Flyers necessarily want to trade the player. It sounds like they want him to come over, play in the AHL with Cal Peterson, and then give him a look later in the season. And again, they've got Ersson, they've got Fedotov. We'll see what happens here, but it definitely sounds like Kolosov, no interest in coming over. He's still in Russia. And so this is the second instance where the Flyers have got a player who doesn't necessarily want to play for them. In recent history, Cutter Gauthier being the first. But this one signed a contract. Gauthier never signed a contract. Kolosov did. Danny Briere also says he anticipates fireworks between Matvei Michkov and John Tortorella as Michkov's learning the game. That's not a great thing to start off with. Like, I'm not saying that we won't expect the fireworks necessarily, but you don't want to be setting up a situation where, yeah, at some point in time, the coach is going to yell at this kid. See what happens. I think Tortorella's really softened up a lot as he's gotten older as a coach. Maybe we don't see that amount of anger between player and coach. And I would think that with Tortorella and the Flyers and the fact that this team is not expected to be a playoff team, hopefully he takes more of a teaching stance than a disciplinary stance with the kid, meaning hopefully he's not benching him for making a bad play in a third period of a game when the Flyers are not in a playoff spot anyways, meaning give him a chance to go out there and play. We'll see how everything turns out. But Briere's expecting some fireworks. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Cole Perfetti. So we've talked about Perfetti and the fact that it seems like there's really a really good negotiation going on between the Jets and the player, even though he's not signed. But another good sign is that Perfetti is on the training camp roster. I believe the Jets training camp opens tomorrow. And while Perfetti doesn't have a contract, the fact that he's listed on that training camp roster says that they're pretty confident they can get him signed. Training camps are opening. The rosters have been made public by, I think, almost every team at this point. It's 50 plus players at each camp. Keep in mind that you can only have 50 players signed to a contract at a time. So there's going to be a lot of tryouts, a lot of junior age players, a lot of guys who may not have contracts teams want to take a look at. So we'll see how things go. But keep in mind, keep in mind that teams only have room for 50 contracts, and there are a couple of teams that are at or near that 50 contract mark right now. So that's going to affect their ability to bring players in, although the AHL franchise can sign some players as well. And that doesn't count towards the 50 contract because it's not an NHL contract they've signed. The Nottingham Panthers coming out with an announcement today. It's not a surprise to me. I think it's a great gesture on their part. They're going to retire Adam Johnson's number 47, I should say, on December the 14th before that game gets started. I don't think anybody was going to wear Adam Johnson's number for the Nottingham Panthers again, and it's a good gesture for them to officially retire his number. He, of course, tragically passed with an incident that took place with a skate to the neck during a game last season. So Nottingham Panthers doing the right thing here and retiring the number. And good on them. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you've not done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.